like review, and it's multiplication facts. So my first activity is reaching Treasure Island, and I would use this board. It's a game, the board game, and then these game pieces and the dice. And the way that they would play it is when they would roll it, so 6 and 2. So then they multiply them both, and it's 12. So then they would get their game piece and move 12 spaces. And then the first to reach the finish wins. But right here, when they land right here, then they can advance to the next one. But if they were to land over here, then they have to go back. And it kind of helps because since it's multiplication, they'll go through this pretty quick. But if they land on these spaces, then they'll have to take longer and stuff. After they're done with this activity, they would grab the red popsicle stick that has their name on it. Each one of these colors have their name on it. So they would grab the red one that has their name on it and put it in the cup. And that's the first activity. And the second activity is areas, finding the areas of the shapes. So they have this one right here. So they would see the area, so this one would be 3 by 3. And they would record it on a sheet. And they would say, okay, well, I had 3, the length, and 3 by the height, 3 units. So then it would be 3 times 3, that's 9. So then they would record that on a sheet, and they would find for these also. So these are the same, so they could make like possibly bigger cubes or smaller cubes, and they would all record them. So once they are done with those, they would grab the blue popsicle sticks with their name and put them in the cup. And that's what at the end I would just check all of the students and see, oh, you didn't do it, why didn't you do it, or any of that. So that's the second activity. And the third activity is chance counters. So then it's kind of like bingo. So then they would use the color counters, and it would be in teams. They would roll the dice. So one team can get like the yellow side, and the other team can get the red side. So then they would get the dice, and they would roll them. And then they get 2 different, so it would be 3 times 2, and then they would look for the answer. So it's 6, and 6 is over here. So then they would get, if it's on the red side, it would get the red. Or if they have, some of them have words. So it's, one of the dice is even, then they can put it right here also. It kind of increases their chance of like putting more, so that they can get 3 diagonal, 3 horizontal, vertical, or across. And also if the product is less than 10, then they can put it here also. That also kind of shows them like comparing numbers and like other things like that. So then they have to get 3 across, or like also if like their partner, or they share a board. So if their partner already found this, if the partner rolls 3 times 2 again, and the 6 is already covered up, then the next team can use one of these that I said, like the product is less than 10, or that it's even. That way, since there's only a limited amount of answers that you can get, there can be still other squares that they can cover. And then, so again with the popsicle sticks, once they're done with that, they will get the green popsicle sticks and put them in the cup. And the fourth activity is called War. And it's a card game. You can play with like Uno cards or any of that. And then it'll be in teams again. So the team will get them and shuffle them as they may. They're third graders, so I don't know if they're like Vegas tennis shufflers. And then they would split them into 2. So it would be like this. So for say, me and Alexa are playing. She has her stack and I have my stack. So she's going to get the first one on the top and we'll flip them. So I said that the ace is 1. So then we'll flip them and then we'll read them. She'll look at my card, I'll look at hers. And the first one to shout out the right answer wins. And they get the 2 cards in their deck. So then at the end of the game, as soon like when they're done with all the cards, then whoever has the most in their winning pile wins. So that way, like, they test out, like, oh, I have to think about it quick, but it has to be correct. So then that is, like, competitive fun. They'll get crazy and loud, but they'll have fun, and hopefully they'll get it. So this one will be the yellow poster, so it'll be the yellow popsicle sticks in the front. And the last game is an online game, and I'll explain it to you guys. It's also multiplication, and there is a little penguin, and he has an ice cream store, and he needs help because he has too many customers, so he needs help serving them. And they say, oh, I want like a chocolate chip, 1 scoop. So then he says, it's a little bubble, and then it says chocolate chip, and then they say, oh, 3 times 4. So then in the flavors, the chocolate chip one is going to have the correct answer. 3 times 4 is 6. So then the student will click on the 6, and then the scoop will go into the ice cream cone, and then it'll be like, oh, okay, thank you, like the customer left happy. And then at the bottom, it has the grid, and then it says happy customers, sad customers, well done. So then they had to tally it up. And then once they're done, because they get to choose what math facts to do, they can choose the 7s, the 10s, the 1s, and then they have to go through them. And once they go through them, they level up. So then it's 3 numbers. So it's 3 times 2 times 6, and like they get to multiply them out. And then whatever scoop it is, then that's what it is. And then it's double scoops because it's more numbers. So then more happy customers or sad. So then once they're done with that, so we can increase like the computer skills, there'll be an Excel sheet with their name, and then they can go and find their name and write done, or how many levels they went to, which multiplication facts they did, and that's that. And that is all.